I want to turn our attention now back to the court. The Warriors' 2-week minicamp ended on Tuesday. Clay participated. Steph and Draymond were excused. Steve Kerr then joined our friend Tim Kawakami's podcast, The TK Show, and was asked if the Warriors' style of play is going to change at all next season because, of course, they have new personnel. Steve responded by, well, I'm just going to let you listen to how Steve responded. Check it out.
We're not reinventing the wheel, but we have very different personnel around those guys. We're still going to be the Warriors. We're not going to all of a sudden turn into the Rockets and change our offense and, have one guy go high pick and roll 70 times a game.
That would be so you, Steve. Just do that. Just do iso ball, pick and roll. I think that would where your heart is with this.
I think I would resign first.
Richard, just like Steve Kerr's old teammate, Michael Jordan, on The Last Dance, just a little drive-by here and there while he's telling some completely other story. The Rockets caught some. Fair or foul, do you think, from Steve Kerr?
100% fair. I think people have been questioning them for the last year with all the injuries that they faced, struggling this season. And he's like, look, we're going to get our horses back, and we have a top pick, and we picked up a very, very quality player in Andrew Wiggins. So he's like, look, we're going to play the way we've always played, and that's high-level, successful basketball. They had one of the greatest stretches in NBA history, so he's allowed, just like Phil Jackson used to do, to throw little digs at people that they have taken down multiple times over and over and over again.
I see nothing wrong with it. Obviously, the Warriors have their recipe for success in championship, as we saw their dynasty run. As much as I love James Harden, as great as a player he is, that type of basketball will not win a championship. So I think he was just kind of stating the obvious by taking a little jab, but also letting everyone know that the Warriors are going to be fine next year.
Well, I like Steve's sense of humor. I like seeing him throw it out there, and I would definitely recommend, by the way, Tim Kawakami's podcast to anyone. He always gets some entertaining conversations on there. I do want to get to the larger Western Conference picture, though. According to Caesars' William Hill, the Warriors have the 4th best odds of winning the 2021 NBA title, despite finishing with the worst record this past season. Now, as we know from San Antonio Spurs history, we've seen these sort of one-year blips before when a key player is hurt, and then all of a sudden they come back loaded with a high draft pick. Now, the Warriors are not going to get Tim Duncan, but Matt, they are going to get someone, and they're still going to have Steph and Clay and Draymond. Where would you rank the Warriors next season in the West?
I think the Warriors in the top 3 in the West. They're coming back with a well-rested Steph and Clay, and Draymond well-rested as well. Whether they decide to move the pick and maybe package it with the young talent and possibly Andrew Wiggins to, steal a superstar from somewhere. But they're very high on Andrew Wiggins. So I feel that the Warriors are going to be right back where they left off, definitely in championship contention next year, now that they have everyone healthy.
No, I completely agree. Now, let's take the Kevin Durant Warriors situation out, where they were just the most dominant team in basketball. And even if they just played okay, they were going to win a championship. They won a championship and then won 73 games and lost in the finals. That's the style of basketball that they're going to go to, where it's more of a balanced attack. You're going to have a ton of guys that are able to contribute around Steph and Clay. So as much as like the NBA has had, 3 guys here, 3 guys there, now everyone's back to being the same kind of level. And when everyone's on the same level, this Warrior duo is top 2 or 3 in the league.
One thing I will say, though.
Do you like how Richard got in there, though? Matt, do you like how Richard got in there, that 2016
just talking basketball.
Series? Do you like how he just brought that in there?
Hey, today's the day for sneak digs. I'm not mad at it. But the one thing I will say is the Warriors are going to have to rebuild that bench. The bench was always very key for them with Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, David West, Patrick McCaw. They always had a lot of guys that added so much to that team from the bench. So that's one thing I will say, and I said last year, was they definitely need to build that and strengthen that bench out.
Well, look, one of the things that was a benefit from sort of the drudgery of last season was that they did have young guys getting a lot of reps and a lot of time out there, and they did make some discoveries. But I agree with you completely. I agree with anything Matt Barnes says on the Warriors because he has a championship ring from that team that we have now personally delivered to him. I'm all in. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.